I personally have $200,000 in student loan debt. All of the universities that I attended, it has afforded me a great life. But the fact of the matter is, I'm in debt.
One of the roles I had in financial aid was I had to tell students how much they borrowed in student loans. And when I tell you it was bittersweet, the students were excited to graduate, but they were in tears because they did not realize that they had borrowed so much student loans.
When I went to my first school in 1992, it was a private, for-profit school. So there was no conversation about scholarships. These were the loans that were available. You signed here, signed there, and you were enrolled in school. And my first school, actually, it closed while I was doing my internship. And so outside of the fact that the school closed, it's a for-profit school, my credits wouldn't transfer. So I literally had to start all over again. Hello everyone, welcome to the Growth Motivator Live with your host, me, Dr. Theresa L. Campbell. Today, we have a powerhouse in the building. Now listen, I personally have $200,000 in student loan debt. I don't regret all of the universities that I attended. It has afforded me a great life. But the fact of the matter is, I'm in debt. So my guest for today, Miss Theresa Harris, aka Scholarship Momma, is my special guest. And when I tell you, she is going to drop so many gems today about things that I wish I would have known in 1987 when I entered high school, 1992 when I started going to college. I graduated high school in 91, not really thinking I was going to go to college. But had I had just a fraction of the information that she's going to share with you today, I would not have this debt, or at least not so much. So thank you so much for coming on today.
I am super excited. I'm geeked to be here. Thank you so much for having me and to talk about how to get these college dollars. Because like you said, you have $200,000 in student loan debt. Oof. And absolutely don't regret it. I have $50,000 in student loan debt myself. And if someone would have told me when I was in high school how to get college dollars, then I sincerely believe the amount would be much less. And so my goal is to help our future generation find money to help pay for college. So thank you. I'm just glad to drop these gems today and to share this with your audience.
Awesome. So let's talk about going way back to the birth of Scholarship Momma. How did that all happen?
It happened. And so I am a financial aid administrator. I used to work in higher education. And one of the things that I experienced as a financial aid administrator was I've met, by the way, with thousands of families, thousands of students, and they sat in the chairs And they would come, and on the first day, the excitement from the families, first generation students, college students coming from all over the world, and they're excited to go to college. Then fast forward 4 years later, graduation. It was bittersweet. They had to come back to financial aid. And by the way, students came back to financial aid before graduation. But it was a requirement that you see financial aid before you graduate. And one of the roles I had in financial aid, which I had many, by the way, one of the roles I had in financial aid was I had to tell students how much they borrowed in student loans. And when I tell you it was bittersweet, the students were excited to graduate, but they were in tears because they did not realize that they had borrowed so much student loans. And what I realized in every institution that I worked at is that it was no opportunity to talk about scholarships to help pay for college. Because if anybody knows who's, been to the financial aid office, it's fast paced, it's fast moving. And so there is not an opportunity to really tell students that here's some scholarships to help pay for college. I mean, you might get a sheet with some scholarship websites on it, some search engines, but the depth of sharing information on how to find scholarships, there was never an opportunity at neither one of the institutions that I worked at. And so I said, you know what? There needs to be a better awareness for families to know, yes, student loans are out there to help pay for college, but so are scholarships. And so that's how Scholarship Momma got started, working with thousands of families. And when they come back to the financial aid office, getting ready to graduate, they was like, whoa, wait a minute. And then I had to tell them, and you have to pay these loans. These loans will go into repayment 6 months from now. And we know that most 21-year-olds, they don't have a career yet. They do not have a career. And they was wondering, how am I going to pay back these student loans? And so that's how I got my start.
I love it. So I'm just going to tell you, if I think back, when I went to my first school in 1992, it was a private, for-profit school. So there was no conversation about scholarships. These were the loans that were available. You signed here, signed there, and you were enrolled in school. And my first school, actually, it closed while I was doing my internship. And so outside of the fact that the school closed, it's a for-profit school, my credits wouldn't transfer. So I literally had to start all over again. So then fast forward to the next school, same thing, sign here, and the debt just kept accumulating. So I have to be honest. One day I said, well, maybe I'll just take these student loans to the grave. Because, you can't file bankruptcy on student loans. You're going to have to pay this money back regardless. And I think for me, as a healthcare professional that also works in education, I think that we do a great job of getting them excited about the educational aspect. But no one talks about, you got to pay this money back, right? Because if it's a for-profit school, they want to get paid. And if you work at the for-profit school, you want your employer to get paid, but a little bit of person inside of you was like, I think we're doing these people a disservice by, on one hand, education is designed to change the quality of your life, but on the other hand, you may not get a job right after graduation, but 6 months after graduation, the loans are due. Now, we've been through the pandemic, and so loans are deferred, and the interest keeps accumulating and accumulating. But I think back, no one had a conversation with me about scholarships. Now, there was a little small conversation in my master's program where there was some funding from a grant, but I was a single parent. And so I got the grant, but I just continued with the student loans because I needed to eat. I needed to live. But had I known about Scholarship Momma back then, I would have less debt now. So talk to us a little bit about, and don't give away all your trade secrets because we want them to hook up with Scholarship Momma, right?
Absolutely.
We want them to hook up with you and learn about and utilize your services. But just share a little bit about your process.
And so what we do one of the things that we do when we're working with families, we send families a curated list of scholarship opportunities, because now when it comes to scholarships, there are so many myths about those. For instance, you got to be an A student, or only football players get scholarships, or only low income students get scholarships. And that is not true. There is a scholarship opportunity for everyone. There are plenty of scholarship opportunities that are not tied to GPA. There's hobby, interest, talents. There's leaderships. There's community service. There's all types of scholarship opportunities. There are even scholarship opportunities for chronic illness. And so something that we, are experiencing in life, there's scholarship for diabetes. There's scholarship for cancer. There are scholarships for asthma patients. There are scholarships everywhere. And so what we do when we're working with families is we send them a questionnaire, because we want to know the student and we want to know more about the family. And the only way for us to find a curated list of scholarship opportunities is by asking more questions. So we take a deep dive in asking students different information and asking them about their family and what are your leadership and what are you doing in high school, your work, what are you doing there? And that's how my team go out and find scholarship opportunities for families. So it's a curated list. Now, two things we don't do, but we do not discourage families. We do not send families no essay scholarships, because basically you don't have to write an essay, right? And so a lot of people, more than usual, are applying to those scholarship opportunities. And then we don't send families no sweepstakes scholarships, because sweepstakes scholarships basically is an effort, in my opinion, to get families information to market to them. And so we don't send sweepstakes scholarship opportunities. So when families are working with us, they must write an essay. And that's one of our qualifying questions. Do your student or do your child like to write essays? Because if your child don't, then our services is not a good fit for your child, because they have to write essays. Because the scholarships that we are finding them, the scholarship provider is asking for an essay anywhere from 10 words to 1,000. And let me be clear. I have heard some students say that, 1,000-word essay is too long, too difficult to write. Well, 10 words is too, because I have tried it myself and have found great difficulty in trying to tell a scholarship provider why I need this money in 10 words or less.
Well, but writing is a part of life, right? Everything you do requires you to write. So I hope that more and more students and their families are willing to write that essay, because just writing that essay is going to help with regards to them taking that next step. So if they don't meet that qualifying threshold, they don't work with you and they lose out on that money, $200,000 in student loan debt. What would you say would be one of the biggest challenges that families face that prevents them from, outside of the essay, why do they not use your services?
I think actually one of the biggest challenges is that they feel, I believe it's a mindset. So when I say a mindset, our students are, a lot of families that I'm talking with, they come in with the mindset of they can't win anyway. They can't win anyway. And so when they feel like they can't win, then you automatically have excluded yourself. Also, I think students feel like they don't have enough time. And that's one of the things that we talk about, like when you work with us, we share a framework with you that will allow you to have enough time, because our students are super busy, right? They're into everything. Oh my God, I don't even know when they sleep now. I mean, they're a lot. They are doing everything. They're working. They're opening their own businesses. Then a lot of extracurricular activities. And they feel like they don't have enough time to apply for scholarship opportunities. So we changed the mindset we try to change the mindset and let them know we have a framework for you, that you will be able to do your extracurricular activities and also apply to scholarship opportunities. Because a lot of this, in terms of essays, could be repurposed. Mm-hmm. It could be repurposed. And so you very well might not have to start from word one.
I love it. I love it. So you talked about mindset and, you know, we're mastermind sisters. And so, you know, we've been reading a lot of books. But one of the books that I joined before Mastermind Life was about mindset. And there's this author, Carol Dweck, who I actually had an opportunity to learn with as a part of a workshop. She talked about how your mindset can hold you back, right? So there's a growth mindset, there's a fixed mindset, and the fixed mindset, in my experience, is generational, where mama and them said this, so this is it. Mama and them weren't able to do what this scholarship mama is telling me I have the potential to do. And so when you got the mother, the father, the parent, the guardian, and then their surrounding community making them feel like it's not going to happen, they become victim to not taking advantage of what you have to offer. I know personally, in my family, there were several family members, aunts and uncles, who had bachelor's degrees. They were teachers, right? They were Chicago public school teachers. But then my parents, they didn't go to college. And I remember my grandmother telling me, you got a baby. You need to go to get a job because school is not where it's at. And so I realized that from a very young age that my mindset was different. And that has carried me for the last 50 years. So what would you say to that family or to that young college or pre-college student, 8th grade, 9th grade, that says, well, my mother didn't go to college. She said they couldn't afford it, so I'm not going to college either. I don't even see the reason why I need to go to college.
Well, a couple of things. So college is a choice. There are other careers that students can go into. So there's alternative careers is just as lucrative as college. And so college is not for everyone. And I say that all the time, but scholarships are. So if you do not decide to go the 2-year path, community college, or degree, 4-year path, there are some alternative careers, trades, as well as career school. The good thing about this is there are scholarship opportunities for trades, as well as career school, as well as community college, as well as 4-year college. And even military is an alternative path as well. If you decide to go to the military, then there are opportunities waiting for some servicemen or women once they leave the military with the GI Bill. And so, and I think that's old language, but pretty much there is opportunities waiting to help them pay for college as well. And so when we talk about our students, and this is another thing when I go into the college planning aspect of my business, is we want students to be in the right fit, right match, financially fit college. When we're talking about our Black and brown kids especially, we want to make sure that they're in the right environment. We want to make sure that we're addressing mental health issues as well. And so we got to make sure that when we go to these different college campuses that we're taking a deep dive to make sure that it is a fit, number one, okay? And so if we have parents who have never been to college and who is discouraging it, or just don't have a pathway, I wouldn't say not necessarily discouraging it, but they don't have a pathway of helping their child get there, then we have the high school counselors, which, by the way, we know that they are having several hundreds of students to one counselor. But there are other programs, there are my programs as well, that help, families get to the next step of whatever path that they want to take. But let's face it, in real life, it is challenging for some families when you have the student and the parent is not on the same page. And somehow the student needs to support. And that's why depending on the institution that you go with, you really have to take a deep dive, because support is the key word. And you want to make sure that whatever college or whatever career path that you decide to take, that you need that support there. And so it's important that our families, when they're looking to go to college or taking different career paths, that they don't be caught up on the experience. That's what I hear all the time. It's about the experience. Well, what is that? Because everybody's experience is different.
Love it, love it, love it. So, over the years, you've helped students successfully get their scholarships. How does that make you feel?
I don't know, Lisa. I mean, I got a Kool-Aid smile. I don't even know. Why did you ask me that question? Because it was just Friday. Just Friday. And all of my parents sent me the name of the colleges that their children were admitted to. It was a total of 29 colleges. A total of 29 colleges, over $15 million.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh, wow. And it's just, I had a Kool-Aid smile on my face, because I'm just so happy to be a part of that success. You know, the students did it. My expertise was just helping them find their way in the sea of opportunities that's out here. And so I'm grateful that the parents saw that my service and my expertise could help their child choose the right fit, right match college. And I'm telling you, college decision day was May the 1st. And that whole weekend I was available. Come on, let's talk. Let's do this. And I was there for my parents, because that's a major decision, right? Going to college, choosing a college, and you got 10, 15 colleges say you accept it, but you can only go to one. And so I was there for the parents to help them through that, to talk them through that. And I want to, share really a proud moment too, because being a financial aid administrator, I was listening to my parents, and we are trained to be active listeners. And as I was talking to one of my parents, which, by the way, they gave me the okay to share this story, is that it turns out that the father lost his job. But if we know anything about the FAFSA, you complete the FAFSA, your income is based on 2 years prior. Well, when you go to college, your income is not the same. And so I said, this is what you need to say to financial aid. Here's what you need to do. You need to appeal your financial aid award letter, because the income that you put on the FAFSA 2 years ago is not your current situation. And the parent appealed it, and they got $1,000 more extra dollars. And so that was just like a proud moment. I was like, I'm so glad I'm an active listener, because we're trying to be active listeners in financial aid. And, I was just glad that that family got some additional funds. And so 29 schools, 29 universities, just a proud moment.
Kudos to you. I like the fact that you encourage the family to appeal. Mm-hmm. I think oftentimes we think, well, they gave me the decision, it's final, and that's it. But you encouraging them to put the wheels in motion to do the appeal probably changed their life.
It did.
I love it. I love it. So, Scholarship Mama on the move. What's happening in the next couple of months, years? What goals do you have for Scholarship Mama and impacting the number of students? So 29 is awesome, right? 29 is awesome. So what are you going to be doing in the coming months, the coming year? Anytime anybody talks about college, I say, do you know about Scholarship Mama? Because, information is power, right?
Right.
So what are your plans for the upcoming months and year?
Yeah, so I got a lot of speaking engagements coming up this summer. I'd like to say I'm going to do a summer tour. But let me tell you about this week. This week is really powerful. I'm doing a lot of things this week to propel Scholarship Mama forward. I would love to do something with our Chicago youth this summer as well. And so I have a plan for that as well. But I definitely got a lot of speaking engagements coming up this summer. And I got a huge speaking engagement coming up. I have to share it another time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking more about scholarships and how to pay for college. I also got going on right now my scholarship mastery program. And that program is a virtual program where every Saturday we have a group of students come to a virtual meeting, and we have scholarship opportunities for them, and we have an essay specialist who help them with their, craft their essays. Now, because it's recorded, I want to be clear, we do not write. We do not write essays. We do not edit. We give feedback to students on the essay because we want them to speak in their own words. And so that's what we're doing. So for the summer until the end of July, we have Scholarship Mastery going on. And it's a virtual program where we have high school students come together to apply for scholarship opportunities, because finding scholarships do not stop once school over with. Families need to keep on looking for scholarship opportunities in the summer. So that's what we're doing with high school students.
I love it. I love it. So listen, our listening, viewing audience, they will need to know how to reach Scholarship Momma. So tell our listeners how to get in touch with you.
And so you can go to my website. That's www.scholarshipmommas, MOMMA.
Trademark.
Yes. scholarshipmomma.com. And then I hang out a lot on Instagram. That is, I am Scholarship Momma. I hang out on Facebook too. I do lives, by the way, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So definitely head over there and get some great information. And I would encourage everyone to stay plugged in. I send out emails on a weekly basis. And so go to the website, actually. Go to the website, get on the email list, and then stay plugged in and get those emails.
So what I heard was, I am Scholarship Momma. Facebook.
Right.
Instagram. Website. Subscribe to get the information. Correct?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, it has been such an honor to have you here today. I am excited about the number of scholarships that you are going to be able to help others procure, because I personally, again, the 200, wait, now is there a scholarship to get rid of the student loans?
I wish. I wish. Hey, maybe, we'll get the $20,000 just, forgiven. That would be great. That would make a dent in some people's, debt. However, it will not help our youth who are borrowing student loans now. And that's why we have to encourage for our youth to find scholarship opportunities and apply to those opportunities as well.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining me today. It has been such an honor having you here. I know this won't be the last time I will see you, seeing that we are in the same mastermind together. And so do you have any final words before we leave today?
Absolutely. I want to tell families, you can't win if you don't apply. Apply to scholarship opportunities.
This has been Dr. Lisa Campbell with the Growth Motivator Live. See you real soon.